on top of our lungs, dancing by the lakeside, gonna do it while we're young. In a moment it will all be gone.
Welcome back to the channel. If you don't know who I am, my name's Christy and I talk about ways I've saved over $5,000 a year on groceries and how I feed my family without the added chaos. Today, I am trying to battle this chaos because I had total chaos last school term. We are currently on school holidays. We've had one term of school here in Australia. We're on school holidays and now the second term's about to go back. And what I did totally wrong last term was I just totally was not organised with the kids' school lunches, with mine and my husband's lunches, with going to work and leaving the house, and even me just being here working in the house, again, not organised. And when I'm not organised and I don't have this stuff done, it's either we're running really late to work, school, all of that, and it's so stressful, honestly, for not just for me, but for the kids and stuff as well, because I get stressed, I start yelling, I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna be late again. And then, you know, it's just kind of we get to the point where maybe I'll then do a lunch order, which at my school, I don't know about you guys, but our school lunch orders are expensive. Usually if I'm ordering for both the kids, it's like $25. Like, it's just crazy. And then on top of that, if I'm not organised and I've gone to work or Johnny's gone to work, then we end up buying lunch as well. It's an expensive day, right? So we don't want to do that. I want to stop spending the extra money where we don't need to. And also, I just want to eat better as well, because for Johnny and I, if we are out and about for work, whatever we're doing for work, to do something cheap, it's going to be probably bad food because it's like McDonald's or KFC or something, right? So it's expensive to eat healthy. Do you know what I mean? Like, if I go to Subway, it's probably going to cost me $10 to $15 at least, you know? If I go to Macca's, I could probably get a Happy Meal for like $6. So trying to eat better as well. So we today are battling just the chaos and stress in the mornings, not having that anymore. We are also battling saving money, obviously, and then also eating better by doing this. So it's something I've done here on the channel for years and years. You can find other videos I've done in the past for sure, but I thought I'd just do a refresh today just because I need to do this because school's going back and I do not want to be waking up in the morning going, I forgot to do school lunches last night. Oh no, I have to do it. And then the whole chaos cycle starts again, you know what I mean? So I thought I'd just film me doing my freezer sandwiches and show anyone that's never seen them before how I do it and just the benefits of it. All right, so if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. If this is something that you enjoy watching and you find it helpful, definitely subscribe, and also please share it with anyone you think might benefit from videos that I do as well. All right, so important things to note. Choosing a bread is important. I do make bread, but I don't think that would be great for my freezer sandwiches. I feel like this bread is just better for me. So you want to find yourself a nice bread that you like. The cheap bread's really good if you like it and you're happy with it. I prefer this bread here in Australia. I'm in Victoria. This is hard to get in the supermarkets in Victoria. You can only get it at Woolworths. If you're in Queensland, it's everywhere. So this is just one I prefer and like. It's smaller than a normal big Tip Top brand or the Wonder White. But you know, the bakery breads are really good as well. Just anything you can get, and on the day that you actually purchase it is the day that you need to do the freezer sandwiches, just so it's as fresh as it possibly can be. That is something to point out and something I will address now, because usually when I do these freezer sandwich videos, someone always comments this and says, why don't you make your kids fresh sandwiches in the mornings? If I have this loaf of bread, for example, for us as a family, that loaf of bread can last us 2 to 3 days. So by day 2 and 3, it's not fresh anymore. It goes quite dry and stale, and it's not nice. If you make freezer sandwiches, if I make these now, pop them in there, when I get them out on the day that we need them, they are so good. They are so fresh. The bread is very fresh, okay, because it's been frozen. So for us personally, I think you get fresher bread if you do freezer sandwiches. If you're like us and your loaf of bread you don't go through in one day, you know what I mean, it lasts a couple of days. So for us it just works out better. You'll also need some sort of maybe sandwich bag or cling wrap. Now I used to use cling wrap all the time. I've switched to sandwich bags just because Joseph's in high school and they don't eat out of a lunchbox as such sitting down anymore like the primary school do. They actually take their lunch out of their bag and then go out into the schoolyard and play basketball and do all the things. So a bag just works better for him, so he'll eat it. Otherwise, he wasn't eating it because he couldn't, you know, carry it around and run around and do things. So for us, this works better. I also find now the sandwich bags, and I'm going to show you how I put it in the sandwich bag because that's kind of important as well. It seals a lot better than the cling wrap as far as having like freezer burn and stuff. So I use these ones. These ones are at Woolworths. They are actually great because they do have a white spot on them. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe that's better. There you go. It's got this part on it that you can write the date and the contents on it. So when you're doing different sandwiches like I am today, it's good to say what the sandwiches are if you can't see what's inside. Now Isabella's 9. She likes a cheese sandwich. She likes jam sandwiches. She's actually also requested a cheese and tomato sandwich. So we're going to do a couple of different ones for her. Joseph will have a ham and cheese sandwich. Sometimes he'll have salami. He can have peanut butter in the high school. There's no problem with that. That's not advised for the primary school because just in case the kids share or something like that because of nut allergies they have. But obviously high school, they've got to be responsible for themselves and they're not likely to do anything crazy. So peanut butter is something extra I can do for Joseph as well. Johnny doesn't like tomatoes, so he will probably just have ham and cheese because he'll take it to work and actually toast it at work. He's got a kitchen there that he can do that. Also, if I'm here working at home, I will either eat it as a sandwich or I will also toast mine as well. So I like the combination of ham, cheese and tomato. It's one of my favorites. Other things that I do roast chicken as well. I just don't have any today, but I'll buy a roast chicken, we pull it apart, and then if it's in the fridge, I will make up sandwiches like that. We'll have that just with salt and pepper and stuff. I sometimes like to have some avocado, some maybe tomato and cheese in there, and I'll still freeze that. I can freeze the avocado. I've never had a real issue with it going brown. They do say to actually sprinkle a little bit of lemon juice on it too. That will actually help from it going brown. But yeah, I usually do that mostly if I'm going to toast them. So sometimes in wintertime you'll see me make up a whole heap of toasty sandwiches for the freezer as well, and that's great to have on hand because it's something we eat often if we're home. Even if it's school holidays, weekends, it's there and it's made, and we love to have that in wintertime a lot of the time for lunches. The ham I'm using today is this one here. It's a shaved leg ham. It's pretty good quality. The reason I've got this one though is because it was half price at the supermarket, so I grabbed it. Otherwise I will just have like a really nice deli ham too. I like to sort of spend a bit extra on ham because I like the bataki and stuff like that. It just makes the sandwiches much nicer, but this one will be fine for this round. Tomatoes. If you're actually going to cut up tomatoes, I will tell you, I've already cut this one a bit because I made a sandwich for Isabella just before for lunch. But aroma tomato for me just is so much easier to cut up for sandwiches, and that's the one that I'd get. If you buy the cheaper ones, which is more of a round, it's just a bit harder to cut up, I find. I just find this a lot easier. So I go with aroma tomatoes, and I get these usually at Coles or Woolworths, and sometimes they're on sale, like they have great deals on tomatoes, but these, it's just worth it for me. These are the ones I like. Cheese is another one too. I used to cut up a block of cheese, and sometimes that works out well depending on how much I'm actually going to make up. Because I'm not making up a huge amount today, I'm just using the tasty sliced cheese that we get. Now, I used to buy, you know, the cheese in the plastic wrap until someone commented once on my video saying about, it's like plastic cheese, have a look at the ingredients. I did have a look at the ingredients and realized that it is like plastic cheese. It's not very dairy, it's not like real cheese, it's very processed. So we get this cheese now. It is more expensive, but it's delicious. We love it. It's pretty much like the Tasty Block, but it's pre-sliced. So we're going with this today because that's what we like. I do want to mention just one little thing too before I get going. You know, with everything going on as well, you guys know, if you've been watching my channel, you know I do like emergency stockpile stuff and that, and I like to have that for a number of different reasons, okay? With everything going on and the cost of everything going up and stuff, if you're someone that's going to be worried that you're not going to have a school lunch for your kids or something like that, and you want to plan ahead, this is also a really great way of ensuring that you know you've got enough. Do you know what I mean? So you don't have to wake up the next morning and go, oh, we don't have any bread for me to make the school lunches or anything. What am I going to send to school with the kids? Can I send anything to school with the kids? Okay, if you're struggling with the cost of groceries, or if there's going to be shortages and stuff like that, freezer sandwiches are a really great way of sort of planning ahead and knowing exactly what you have. You can plan these ahead for like a month if you want, and they're they're perfectly fine. Freezer sandwiches generally are pretty good for at least 2 to 3 months, okay, in the freezer I've found. So yeah, plan ahead and do that, and it will help you save that stress as well. All right, I'm gonna prep the tomato. I like to have everything prepped when I'm making freezer sandwiches as well, so I can just quickly make them once I've buttered all the bread. I'm just gonna cut this off. So I don't do it too thick, do it fairly thin. It freezes fine, by the way, tomatoes. People always ask me about it because it's very high in water content, obviously, whether it's, you know, not great with the freezer, whether it goes soggy and stuff. I don't find it does. I will say it doesn't touch the bread, okay, because of the way I make the sandwiches. So I will show you how I layer it on a sandwich if you want to do tomato. But yeah, it's totally fine. I'd say the things that you probably shouldn't put in the freezer are things like lettuce, for example. That's not going to go well. It's probably going to go brown. If you want salad sandwiches, you could just add the lettuce last minute, perhaps. Cucumber, I've done cucumber before and it's not too bad, but it's not the best, so I probably wouldn't do cucumber. But carrot definitely is fine. What else am I thinking? Eggs are great. Boiled eggs, cutting them up, even mixing them with your mayo and curries if you want to do curries and things like that. They freeze up really well as well. And I am going to show you later on just what you do with the sandwiches once they're frozen to make sure they don't go soggy when you pull them out for lunch boxes. All right, so, okay, I'm going to start laying these out, see how many sandwiches I can get. I usually do like 2 to 3 loaves. Sometimes I'll do a full fortnight's worth of sandwiches. Johnny and I don't need them every single day, obviously. And the kids, sometimes, like at least once a fortnight, I might try to actually do a lunch order for them just as a treat, but sometimes we don't even do that. So it just depends, you know, what we've got coming up for the week, basically. So yeah, Johnny and I, we don't need to have that many. The kids though, I'm going to do maybe 5 each for them, so it'll run over a week and a bit if I do a lunch order. So I'm going to need 10 sandwiches for them. So 2, 4, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can I get another one? We do eat the ends, but not as sandwiches usually unless we're doing toasties. So I'll just save that. We'll have that probably just for breakfast. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the kids. So for Johnny and I, I'm going to do probably 2 to 3 each. Johnny doesn't have a lot of day shifts coming up at the moment for his work, so he's not going to need this every day. And usually, obviously, with our lunch boxes and stuff, we have other things. It's not just one sandwich, you know. Johnny used to take 2, but now he just wants 1, and he has like fruit and other things with it instead. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So the kids, so maybe 1 lot after that. Oh, I'll just add that one here. Okay, so for Johnny and I, I'm going to do 3 each at the moment, and then the kids have got 5. All right, so I'm going to do 2 jam for Isabella. Strawberry jam is what she loves. We don't put butter or margarine on as well because she does not like that at all. There's a big piece of strawberry there, which she'll be fine with, by the way. I just want to put it over on the side because I need to cut in the middle. Like when I actually put this in her lunchbox, I do cut hers in half. Joseph, I don't. He just eats it as one piece, but it's just easier for Isabella. But yeah, jam, she does not like margarine and butter on sandwiches or toast or anything like that if she doesn't have to have it. Obviously, when I'm doing like the cheese and tomato, to make everything stick, I need to put a little bit of margarine down, otherwise it's not going to stick. But jam, no, just jam straight on it. And then with peanut butter, we're the same. We don't have margarine on there at all, or butter, because, I don't know, it's peanut butter, so we just don't do it. Let me know in the comments if you would put that on there. If we have toast, I will definitely usually put margarine or butter it down first before the peanut butter, just because I find it's a bit dry otherwise. But with sandwiches, we like it this way. Johnny, however, my husband, he will put a bit of margarine on there sometimes. So I don't know, I guess it's individual choice with it, isn't it? Let me know in the comments what you do. All right, so 2 peanut butter, 2 strawberry jam. All right, I'm going to show you how I put them in the sandwich bags just so they don't get a lot of frostbite around them. Some people will use, like especially of recent that I've seen, people are using, so they don't use plastic. They're using like reusable ones. I find they don't seal around it a lot. So sometimes you get frostbite in them. So I don't do that anymore. I did try that once and it didn't work for me. I also have seen people recently using like baking paper and doing that. However, that's no good for me for the kids for school or us on the move, especially me. I'm driving in the car as I'm eating and all that too. So the bags just work better for us. You can wash these out and recycle them, you know, use them again if you want to and stuff. There's no problem with that. But it's just what works best for us. Cling wrap, like I said, is a good one too, but you've really got to make sure it's sealed properly so it doesn't get the frostbite as well. So the way I do this, I'm very particular with the bread. Now this bread, oh, that's not too much of it. Maybe, which one's going to be better? Maybe this one, just to show you as an example. But sometimes, oh, here we go. Say this bread here. Say it was this one. See how this is a flatter edge here? This is the side I put up against the packet up here. And so I have this flat side for it to all suck around close to it. So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. This one's got a little bit of an edge, but not much. But we'll use this one as an example. Now just make sure I know what that is, peanut butter. So what you want to do is put the odd edge to the edge of the bag and then the flat edge here. Because once you start sealing it up, so I seal it up from that way, push it up against me, to then push all the air out that last end. Can you, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but you see how it's like kind of almost vacuum sealed around it? That's what I do. It's, some people say to put it in water and do it that way. I tried that once and it was just such a hassle. Like this was just so much easier for me. So this is the way I do it. And then I'm just going to fold that over and like that because of where I put it in the freezer. I'm going to show you that soon too. But on the little piece of the white section here, you want to write on here what it is and the date, just so you know. And if you have particular, you know, it's for a particular person, obviously write their name. That would be even better as well. But I don't need to this round. I'm only doing about a week. So what have I got? Peanut butter. Just so you know what it is, because once it's in the freezer or if someone else is grabbing it, obviously they need to know. Okay, so the rest of these I need to put like a margarine or butter, if you prefer butter, onto these. I use this to do that because if you've got a lot to do, just with a knife it's really slow. So I use this spatula thingy that I've got. I just have this because I have it from doing cakes and stuff. So if you've got something similar, or maybe you could use like an actual spatula, that would be fine too. It will just make it a lot quicker for you, especially if you've got a ton of sandwiches you need to do, you've got a big family, or say you want to do a month's worth, which I've done before. Like I said, in winter time I do quite a lot because I do them up for toasties as well, for on the go, when we're working and even if I'm at home sort of thing, and weekends and school holidays and stuff like that. So it just makes it go so much faster, like so much faster. Let me know in the comments, is your family a butter or a margarine person? I don't mind butter, and sometimes I'll have butter just for something different, and sometimes it's just a bit better as well, health-wise, depending on what you have. Some people do olive spreads as well. That's another good one. My kids like margarine. They don't like the taste of butter generally. So we need to stick with the margarine, just so most people are happy. Now, if you were also doing these as toasties, I want to point out, I still put some of this inside, but obviously when you go to make the toasties, you've got your sandwich done. Obviously when you go to put in the toast, like, what is it called? Like sandwich press or Breville maker, whatever you're doing, then you need to butter the outside again, obviously. But I do butter the inside if I'm doing freezer sandwiches for toasties, because it just helps everything stick together a bit better. And it's a kind of a... almost like a barrier sometimes I find against the bread from certain things going soggy, depending on what you've actually got in there. So yeah, I always do the inside if I'm doing freezer sandwiches. All right, so they're all done. All right, so cheese on all of these as a base. Like I said, Isabella will have cheese and tomato. She's not a big meat eater, guys, so she'll eat chicken sometimes, but and spaghetti bolognese, and she'll have sausages, that kind of thing. But ham in a sandwich as well, no, that's not her thing. So, which is fine. Like, I don't mind any of that. Isabella's great with veggies, so I take my wins, basically. All right, so I'll do Isabella's first. Now, unfortunately, because she's not having ham on hers, I can't show you how I combat the whole sogginess thing. I mean, it's all right. It doesn't happen too badly, especially by the time she eats her lunch at school. It's pretty fine. But if you were, like, you know, defrosting these and having these much later in the day, then what you want to do is put a layer of cheese, put your tomato in, and then ham on top or whatever else on top to help have this not touch the bread. Isabella's, obviously I can't do that with hers because she's not having ham, but it'll be okay by the time she eats lunch. Like, they eat quite a early-ish lunch, I'll say, like around midday, so it's not like it used to be much later in the day where it used to be like nearly 1:30, but now it's like much earlier. She just wants salt. I'm not going to put pepper on hers, just a bit of salt. So it'll be fine, honestly, it'll be fine. Plus, I always make sure, if you're packing lunch boxes, that you've got those ice packs in there to keep this cold, and that will help as well. I am going to write Isabella's name on this one just to make sure hers definitely doesn't get mixed up with the meat one. So I'll just write cheese and tomato. When the kids were little, I'm just doing Joseph's now, we would do literally like one piece of ham like that, because that's all that he wanted and that's all that they liked, like, especially when they were little. Now Joseph's bigger, and we were fine with that too, because we'd have them in toasties mostly. It's a bit different for our Johnny and I now because of our jobs that we have now, so we have something a bit more substantial because we're not toasting them at home, whereas we were always toasting them. So kind of one piece is always what we wanted. But Joseph's bigger now, you know, he's a teenager, he eats a lot more, so it just helps him be a little bit more filling if I do this. And he will also like his peri-peri mayo on here too, but I don't have any at the moment, so he's just going to have ham and cheese. So that's Joseph's done. Johnny's now, I'm just doing my husband's. He has a bit of extra ham as well, obviously, because he's a man and he likes to eat a lot of meat. And the last is Mum, of course. I do mine last, as always. So salt and pepper on mine. Like I said, I like to put the cheese and the tomato, and then I'll do a barrier just to help protect it a little bit. I don't put a lot of ham on mine. I just, yeah, I don't need a lot in mine. I'm perfectly happy with it being, you know, just the added extra taste is really all the reason I do it for it. Actually, that's the last piece before the packet, so I don't really want to open up another packet, so I'm just going to open up just a little bit. Okay, lid's on. All right, so I'm all done. So I like to put mine in a container like this. They perfectly fit in there for a week for me. If I want to do 2 weeks, I've got another container that I add into it. With the amount of emergency stockpile and just general groceries that I've got in my freezer at the moment, I have room for one of these, and that's it at the moment. So I'm just doing 1 week at the moment. What I've done, I used to, on the top here, especially when I did cling wrap, I would have go by white labels and write on there so I could see whose was whose. I know this is only 1 week. I know how many of each I've got of each person, obviously, and where they are. I've pretty much got, I can see here, obviously, I can see Isabella's side is this side, and I'm just behind her, and then Joseph's is this side, and my husband's just behind my son. So it's easy for me to know what's in here for sure. But if you want the extra thing, I would just do little labels on top, or maybe you can use a Sharpie and write on top if you want as well. But otherwise, these are all in this container. They fit perfectly. This is the other thing about choosing the right size loaves of bread. I think I mentioned I don't cut these in half until, like with Isabella, I do cut hers in half, like on the school morning, like quickly just cut it in half and put it in a lunchbox and it's done. We have containers, like bento style containers, so she eats out of that. Joseph doesn't, because he's in high school and they don't sit anywhere for lunch, they just carry a bag around, so he grabs his out, only wants it as one. But yeah, cut them obviously of the morning when you're just doing that final sort of pack away basically. If you've got a lid, which I do, I will put a lid on this just to have extra sealing against freezer burn. I find that works really well. So make sure you try to choose, if you've got a container, make sure the container fits in the freezer, make sure the bread fits into the container. Like if I was using the other tip top, it would be too big and it wouldn't work, so I had another container I used to use. And you can do lots of different types of sandwich. It doesn't have to be flat sandwiches like this. I have done in the past, if you look at old videos, I've done rolls, I've done Turkish bread that I've got from Costco. I've done bagels even as well, like lots of different things. So you can play around with what type of bread obviously that you like and you want to do, but this for me is just what we're going into the next term with, and this is what's suiting us. There's my lid on, so you can see that fits perfectly for me. I know someone's probably going to ask me what type of container this is. This is actually one of those containers, I think I might have got it just from the supermarket, and it had it's like a cake container. So you'd have that white bit in the middle that you'd lift up if you had a cake on it. I just take that out and I never use it, so I throw it out. But this fits perfectly for the sandwiches. All right, so the last thing to know is how you actually defrost them. And this is very, very important to do it this way, okay? Do not get the sandwich out and sit it on the bench overnight. Don't do that. It will go soggy. You need to defrost these in the fridge. Some people I know pull these out and just put them straight into the kids' lunch boxes. You could do that, I guess, but I find still you'll find a side going soggy. So what I do is the night before I pull this out of the freezer, I will sit this inside the fridge upways like this, so it's sitting on the outside, you know, the outside crust. And that way it defrosts, and the rest of this, the bread part, the inside part, does not go soggy, okay? So that is what I would advise. Even if it's a roll, don't sit it flat, just sit it up on an angle a bit, and it just defrosts perfectly and does not go soggy, okay? Now, the other thing is too, obviously when you pack it into lunch boxes, make sure you've got like an ice brick of some sort, so it keeps it cool in there. And again, that will help with the taste. It will help with keeping meat and stuff that you need to cold, and again will help with it not going soggy. All right, so that's the end of today's freezer sandwich video, guys. If you guys want to save some money, save your sanity, and not be stressed out on school mornings, and just know that you have things on hand for your kids, and also maybe eat a little bit healthier, than freezer sandwiches are definitely something that you should actually try. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe if you're not already. Please share this video with anyone else that you think this will be helpful for. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys probably tomorrow. Bye.